Macmillan Audio presents The Virginia City Trail by Ralph Compton. Read by Scott Sowers. Virginia City, Montana, December 21st, 1863. "I am innocent," George Ives said confidently. It was the password of the infamous plumber gang to which Ives belonged. He stood on a wooden box, a 13-knot hangman's noose about his neck. The other end of the rope had been looped over a beam in a newly constructed building, pulled taut and tied to a spike driven into the floor. 4 men with drawn guns stood between Ives and those who had come to see him hang. One of the 4 men was Ken Tanner, himself secretly a member of the plumber gang, and it was Tanner who spoke. "Back off. Sheriff Plummer's been sent for, and we're waiting for him." "Like hell we are," a miner shouted. "The Dutchman was killed and robbed, and when this Ives was caught, the varmint had the Dutchman's mule. Now this miner's court says he's guilty, and Plummer ain't gonna change that. Hang the bastard." "I say we're waiting for the sheriff," said Tanner, "and I'll shoot the first man making a wrong move." Even some of the vigilantes who had captured Ives seemed intimidated, and Ives grinned. But the grin changed to a frown as a tall man with sandy hair, a 3-day beard, and a cocked pistol in each hand elbowed his way through the vigilantes. "I'm Nelson Story," he said, "captain of this vigilance committee. George Ives has been tried and found guilty by a miner's court, and he's going to hang. I'll kill the first man who interferes." His cold blue eyes were on those 4 men with drawn guns, and one by one they backed down, Tanner being the last. Story kicked hard, sent the wooden box tumbling, and George Ives was left dangling at the end of a rope. The lawyers hired to defend him turned away, unable to bear the grisly sight. Ives revolved slowly, his face contorted, kicking his life away. The 4 men Story had backed down glared sullenly at him, and Story glared back. He made no move until he was sure George Ives was dead. Then he backed away, into the ranks of the vigilantes with whom he rode. "His friends can cut him down," said Story. "Let's get the rest of them." In knee-high boots and sombrero, Nelson Story was 6.5 feet tall. Belted around his middle was a pair of Colt .38 caliber revolvers, and he could draw and fire as swiftly and as accurately with one hand as with the other. After the hanging of George Ives, the weather changed dramatically, and Story moved to take advantage of it. He gathered his vigilantes in the bitter, bone-chilling cold before first light. "There's 3 feet of snow on the plains," Story said, "and 15 to 20 feet in the mountain passes and draws. Plummer and his bunch will try to quit the territory, but they can't get out until the weather breaks. We have them trapped, and we're going to finish them once and for all." Bannock, Montana Territory, January 10th, 1864. "Let's hang the others first," said a miner, "and save Plummer for last. I want the low-down murdering son to watch his pards die, knowing he's gonna follow 'em to hell." There were shouts of agreement, and 4 of Plummer's gang went to their deaths without complaint. But Henry Plummer, whose bloody reign had resulted in the deaths of more than 100 men, begged for his life. His hands bound behind him, the infamous outlaw sheriff fell to his knees. "Please," he wept, "I don't want to die. I'm not prepared to die. Cut off my fingers, a hand, a foot, but let me live. Have mercy." Some of the vigilantes turned away in disgust. But Nelson Story faced this man who deserved no quarter and would be given none. "You murdered men for their pokes," Story said.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?